being in the accounting field, financial, field, that the things that we can do, and I can show that what actually happens when you're in the financial field. Because a lot of times, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know y'all are young students, and you have to know how to add. And like Brother Junior said, your calculator is your brain. But I'm gonna be honest with you. My calculator is not my brain. Usually I keep a little calculator in my pocket. So when I need to calculate, no, only for parents, but for the students, y'all have to calculate everything. But as you start getting older, you'll see that really your calculator will be your robot. And the computer is a prime example of a robot. But we will go on and we'll talk about more about things that we use in today that will help us. How many people here like playing games? What kind of games? This any game. It can be Xbox, apps, or whatever. Huh? You don't know? Okay, good.
Board games.
Board games? Minecraft?
Shooting games.
Shooting games?
Soccer.
Soccer? Okay, soccer. Anybody else? Anybody good? Black Ops? Okay, good. Basketball, right? Now, how do you get the money to get those games? Yes, how do you get the money? Okay, you ask your mom and your dad, right? So basically you ask mom and dad, how do you do it now?
Just ask you.
Okay. Does anybody do any chores around here? Be your income statement, and then you have to figure out how am I going to budget to get this game right. Because now you got to look at that. Well, basically you're looking at, for us, is use the bank statements. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at bank statements but basically that's the bank statements to see how much money we have. But in your situation, it's mostly piggy banks. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at your piggy banks. No, people don't keep piggy banks anymore. Nobody keeps piggy banks. Used to. That's not good anymore. Because the old glass ones, you would have to break them when you fill it up, but now they got little plastic ones you just take it out from the bottom. But that's a prime example. Like Brother Jeremy was saying, you have to know how much money you got coming in to know how much money you got going out. So now that's a prime example of your income statement. But because you gotta have what to buy the game? Well, if you don't have the money, what's gonna happen? Oh yeah, you'll be broke. As a financial analyst, y'all saw today that when Brother Journey asked y'all something, what is the first thing you had to do to come up with an answer? Is just think about it. And that's one thing that we have to do, every day, working in the accounting field. We have to think, which is really analyze what we're doing. And that's the first step with what y'all basically doing. You have to make good and sound judgment of first you input the information, then you bring an answer to the information. One thing you have in common is that most of these fields are mostly entrepreneurship fields that you get into. Even when you're working for somebody, you're still an entrepreneur, because as an analyst, you're actually analyzing data that's coming into you to help to make what was the thing you was talking about when you say count the cost? And after you take out what we brought in?
The money that you make after you budget.
And what's this called?
It's called your profit.
And that's what I'm gonna be honest with you right now. That's what you're here for. You're here for a profit. Because the whole thing about it, your parents are putting, the STEM program is gonna be putting things into you. As you get older, when you decide what college you're gonna go to, that's where the profit is gonna come out. Because that's what you don't want to put something into something and get nothing out. You always want to get something. One thing that we can't do is that we don't work alone. We have to work with other people, and that's what I was trying to show the example with Moses. How he had to just imagine you have 2 million people behind you, and they're dependent on you, and you got to go through the Red Sea. So now if you got that many people behind you and you talk to the God and he's got to help you, you got to see, well, I got to work with God and his people to get them what they need to, because you got to accomplish. Because right now, as y'all going through the STEM program, you're using the STEM program to accomplish your goal, which is from your case, or most of your cases, going to junior high. That's a new experience. From junior high, going to high school. From high school, going to college. But one thing you have to remember is that I have to keep education, because I got to keep learning.
Didn't he do a good job? So, in order for him to have the career he has, he had to know math. And he had to be good at math, because it's a competitive world. There's a whole bunch of people that can do math, and he had to outperform. When you go in an interview these days, there's a lot of people who want the same job. And so you're competing against telling how many people. We can talk about the competition right now. But the world is competitive. And so the quicker you learn its competition and prepare yourself for it, then the better you're going to be. Because we all want to be successful, right? All right. Okay, so thanks, Mr. Solomon, once again.